Hey folks, it's Fixed Blade Friday, and today we're taking a look at this knife. This is the F002 by Brother. I do have the F001, and it's coming up soon, but I've had this guy for a couple of weeks, and I've only had the F001 for one day. So this video is getting ready today. It's Fixed Blade Friday, but I suspect I won't be able to finish editing this knife in time to publish it for Friday. But hey, we'll do our best and we'll see. Maybe it'll be Friday afternoon or something. Who knows? We've got what they say is a 440C stainless steel blade, micarta handle scales, and just basic drop point kind of high flat grind. Some might call this a full flat grind knife. Kydex or Kydex-like sheath with Tech-Lock type or Tech-Lock-esque kind of locking system. So let's stick this thing on the tabletop now. And we're going to take a good close look at this puppy. Stay tuned. Okay, so I'll leave the knife right there on screen. Hopefully you'll see it most of the time. But I'll start with the sheath. So yeah, it's like Kydex. Oh, got a little dirty there. It's fairly thin. They've done an okay job putting it together. They didn't really buff the edges. They should have come a little bit more of these so it wouldn't be opening and splitting on the sides. There's no drain hole down here, but there's holes in here. So yeah, I would like a little drain hole. And if I was going to carry this outside, I'd first drill a little drain hole on the back of this Kydex sheath. Now you can wear it left or right, because you could unscrew this and put it on this side. You just have to use these two holes. But you can use those two holes on, on this side instead of on that side. So yeah, that's easy enough to do. This holds in a belt fairly well. What I don't like about this is I don't like wearing a knife so high on my body. So if I'm standing that way, my feet are down here and my head's over here, I don't like this knife way up high on my body. I'd rather have it hanging below, so the handle is right about where my belt is on my pants. This way, where my belt is here and my hand is quite a bit higher up. So you don't really like that as much. I like other systems. I'll show a picture of what I much prefer. So there you go. That's that part. Oh wait, retention. It holds pretty well, but not very tight. There's a fair bit of play in there. If I try to hold the knife still, but it doesn't come off unless you pull a certain amount, and that's because of this. If you wanted to, and now I've got my own rivet system, I could just add another rivet right here, and that would give it much greater edge retention. It might give it so much that I'd have to, cut a little bit of this away, but that'd be okay too. And it would have perhaps a little less play, but I can always stuff, some stuff down here at the bottom of it to stop the blade, to stop the play and the noise. It is a budget knife that is at a fairly low price, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk about this blade shape. We've got a bit of a rise here on the jimping right there, and then the blade drops. It's a high flat grind, a nice belly, a nice strong point on it, thick steel here, over 4 millimeters. And then we've got a full tang all the way back. We've got a sneak up choil, so you can put your finger in there to do more delicate work closer to the tip. Of course, you can do pinch grips that feel quite well in hand, and they cut quite well that way. Or, of course, your finger across the spine, that nice thick spine. And reverse grip works very well as well, if your hands are this size and not bigger. My hands are at the end of the large in North American sizes, just barely knocking on extra large's door. If you've got hands large or smaller for men or whatever, women, that's going to work okay. Extra large, and you're not going to like this. There's just not an awful lot of room in there. There's lots of room on the back, on the spine, but this belly is closed in fairly small. Smaller than a lot of hand knives that I've had, so there's that. But the grip, like the reverse grip is okay. I would have liked this angle to, come off the other way, and then the reverse grip would be much more secure. They say it's 440C steel, and I'm going to have to tell you why I don't think so. Or if it is 440C, it hasn't been hardened, at least not to the degree that they claim. It's not between 58 and 60. I worked on this knife. I measured the angles first, and then I sharpened it, and I tested it, and tested how much it deteriorated. And I compared it with what 440C does. And I don't yet have my video out of exactly how I'm doing my testing and crunching my numbers. That's coming later, after I'm confident that my system is the one I'm going to keep. But for now, I'm just testing things. I compared 440C steel knives that I knew was 440C, and I compared it to this. This steel is softer, and it loses its edge faster than the known 440C that's around 58 Rockwell. So, like I said, might be 440, but if it is, it's a fair bit softer. Feels like to me that it's around 55, the Rockwell hardness, when I was sharpening it. Now, that's totally subjective. But it just definitely is weaker and softer than the average 440C. Okay, now let's give you the dimensions. We've got a cutting edge of 10.26 centimeters, 4.04 inches. The blade length to the handle is 11.09 centimeters, 4.37 inches. The blade thickness is 4.2 millimeters, that's 0.165 inches. Nice big chunk of steel here. And the blade depth, so the spine to the belly here, is 2.9 centimeters, that's 1.14 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind was 0.65 millimeters. Perfect for a knife like this. That's 0.0265 or 56 inches for the type of work that you're going to be doing with a knife like this. That's why I think 0.65 is good on here. Now the grind angle, I forget which side it was because I have resharpened this already. One side was 18.5 degrees. The other edge was 28.4 degrees, almost a full 10 degree, 9.9 degree difference from one side to the other. That's just poor workmanship when you're sharpening, not handling the knife very well, and just not doing a great job sharpening the knife. Okay, let's keep moving. Handle length is 12 centimeters, that's 4.72 inches. The handle thickness is 1.7 centimeters, that's 0.67 of an inch. Good thickness for this kind of knife. The handle depth is 2.85, which is 1.12 inches. And then the grip area, so that's between my fingernails there, these two, 8.6 centimeters, 3.39 inches. And that's what I wish was a little bit larger. And the weight of the knife is 181 grams, which is 6.4 ounces. And you add in the sheath, and it's 258 grams, 9.1 ounce. So for its size, the weight is good. The balance point, if I can get it again today, it's a little bit slippery, is right there. And that's exactly where I want it to be on a knife like this, or on most knives, right by your index trail. Not every knife, but most of them. The thumb riser fits in the hand really good. And well, I've already explained all the grips. So yeah, it's a good weight ratio size, a nice chunky piece of steel. I did some light batoning, so cutting off pieces that were, about no bigger than an inch by an inch off of another piece of wood. And it did that okay. I didn't try anything harder. The price for this knife, it's around 28 US, just over that, just a bit over 37 Canadian dollars, a bit under 25 euros, and a bit over 22 British pounds. That's roughly what price you're going to find. And this is available at GearBest, and I might be able to find other stores to have links on down below as well, perhaps with different prices. That's the regular price when there's not any sale or anything else happening. Okay, the special features for this knife. Well, I've noticed nothing special, but there's one thing missing, and that's a lanyard hole. They might have guessed or thought that since they've got holes here, they're copper pins that they use to secure the epoxy, the micarta on here, that you could use that for a lanyard, and you could, but I wouldn't want a rope coming out right there because my hand goes over that spot. I'd rather have a hole back here. So yeah, that I don't really like that awful much. What else don't I like that awful much? Well, that's about it from looking at it. I like using that forward choil. You know, it feels good in the hand. It's a nice grip. Maybe the handle could be a bit bigger all around. Maybe that's just me talking from my hand size. But you know, it works comfortably, and the micarta feels really good in the hand. This handle scale is quite a bit thinner than this one. I don't know if a picture will work because the color is so much the same, but yeah, you can just see, at least I can just see looking at this here, that you know, this is a fair bit thicker here than that one is. But hey, that's okay. It just is what it is. But they did a fair bit of work afterwards to make sure that it fit on the seams here. Some knife makers on the budget end in China, no-name ones especially, sometimes the handle scale doesn't match up and they just glue it on and you're done. But they've done milling here to make sure that it's nice and comfortable. So that's really good. The pros and the cons that I want to go over just before I forget anything. The sheath retention's okay. The clip's not that great where it sits on your waist. I like that it's full tang. I like that there's a forward choil. I like the grip. The hand feels pretty good. It's awkward to carry the knife with where this pocket with the belt clip is. No lanyard hole. Don't like that so much. And you know, that's sort of the knife. I don't know what else to say except for now it's time for me to tell you what I found in my findings of edge retention. Here's my results. The standard for the 440C steel that I got was not as easy to get sharp, so it was harder to sharpen it. And the edge retention from what I was cutting deteriorated by about 63%. And what it was is I was cutting 8 times through some Scotch scouring pad material, just 8 times going straight through it. And it deteriorated by 63%. This knife, it deteriorated by 184%, cutting through the exact same number of things. That's with the edge ground to the exact same angle, the edge ground using the exact same stones, you know, so the exact same edge profile and everything, and it deteriorated a whole lot faster. Basically, it tells me this steel is softer for sure than the 440C that I tested. And the 440C that I tested is rated and believed to be around 58. So this guy here, like I said earlier, is probably around 55 Rockwell hardness. Is it a throwaway knife? You don't want it? No, I think there's some good things about this knife. Just know that it's a softer edge. So if you still want one of these knives, I have one of these that I will be selling. And this one's got a few little mars, some scratches on the blade here. I haven't looked at the other one yet, but if you buy mine from me, it's only going to be worth it if, well, it probably won't be worth it to buy it from me. It's only worth it buying from me if you want me to sharpen it first. Otherwise, it's just going to be cheaper for you to buy one straight from the vendor because shipping costs are quite high. But I will still, if somebody insists that they want to buy mine, I'll certainly sell it to you guys. So thanks for watching my video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Happy Fixed Blade Friday. Remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.